Hello, hello. Hopefully you guys hear me now? There we go, there we go. Welcome everyone. This is a special treat because not only are we here in beautiful Los Angeles, but most importantly, we're gonna watch Call of Duty on land, baby, and I am so excited to be here with each and every one of you. But I think the time for talk is done, so let's go ahead and introduce your first team. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Minnesota Røkkr! Coming off of arguably the greatest reverse sweep in Call of Duty history to win Major 5, this team is looking to go all the way. Regular season finish at 6th place with 305 points. A record of 20 match wins, 17 losses. Standy, the rookie phenom, looking to go lights out here today in Los Angeles. And your lineup, Standy, Attach, MajorManiak, and Priestahh. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for the Minnesota Røkkr! And now, it's time to introduce their opponents.
This time it's Shotzzy, putting him on skates. Great, what a play from Chow, and aLLeY. Shotzzy over the top, the slide, and that's the movement. Seconds left, Sky tries to jump it, but it's Vivid who bounces back here. Let's go!
And now it's time to introduce your reigning, defending Call of Duty League champions, the Dallas Empire! Finishing this season 3rd in CDL points, just behind FaZe and Ultra, this team is looking to make history and win not 1, but 2 Call of Duty League championships. Could this weekend be theirs? Led by the man himself, Crimsix. You got Vivid, Shotzzy, aLLeY. There is the squad. No love lost with the fans here today, though, apparently. All right, let's do this real quick. Just gotta like to have fun with y'all. Who do you think's gonna win? Is it gonna be the Minnesota Røkkr? And what about the Dallas Empire? Woo! Well, I tell you one thing, it's gonna be a great matchup. We got 2 great casters standing by. It's Maven and Merc.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. And I'll tell you what, maybe if there's a little love lacking for the Empire squad, as excited as we are to have the fans back, COD's back on land. Buddy, I've missed you. Get over here. Get over here.
I've missed you a lot.
It's been a long time since I've been able to hold him.
Feels
in person and not on a green screen with our fake desk. We're actually here, and this is exciting. This is one, Joe, that I feel like has been a thriller, a back-and-forth battle, hotly contested all year long.
No, it has. You're looking at, they've played each other 6 times. It's 3-3. It's a 1 map count difference. You have the defending champs. You have your stage 5 champions. This should be a bloodbath.
That's what I'm hoping for. But let's get right into our keys to victory. We're going to start off with Dallas Empire, the reigning champs. What are they going to bring to the table? What are you looking for here, Joe?
Well, I mean, they need to show a stronger game in the respawns. They were 1-5 at Major 5 in those map losses, and while they lost 2 of those to the Minnesota Røkkr, this is a matchup that we saw. They have to use that Empire preparation. We know what they did last year at Champs. They just threw teams off guard. We need to see that again, and do not allow an opportunity for Røkkr to get back into the series. If the chance is there, if they are up, if they need to close a game out, they have to do it, because that team on the other side, they have so much confidence in themselves.
Yeah, that's just kind of been the question, though. Like, can they get to that level of prep? Can they get to that mark we saw them hit last year where they looked ahead of everybody? I thought at times maybe they got there, then they'd fall a little short. But if they're going to do it now, now's going to be the time, right?
This is it.
Yeah.
It has to be here.
This is it. Now our game fuel keys to victory for Minnesota Røkkr, Joe.
Well, this is a matchup where Priestahh just popped off at the Major. He had a 1.33 in your hard point and a 1.21 in control. Look for him to take over. I mean, this guy popped off. But Standy throughout Major 5, he was the X factor. When he was playing well, the Røkkr won. Plain and simple, so look out for him. And then be ready to make adjustments in search and destroy. They were 10-2 in stage 5. Those only 2 losses were on Moscow. What are we playing in this series? We're gonna head to that Moscow. But teams are studying them left and right. The target is on their back, and you know, they're gonna get hard countered.
Hey, it's gotta be wild to think about that. Like, yeah, the target's kind of been on FaZe all year long, but coming into this major, or coming into this championship and playoffs, it feels like it's gotta be Røkkr with that insane comeback they were able to do in the final. One of the most unbelievable things we have ever seen. As we now take a look at our maps and modes, and you mentioned if we get to that Moscow search, how that could be a big question mark maybe for Røkkr, but was there anything else that kind of popped off the page for you?
Well, the 2 Moscows, 1-5, I think that's where Empire needs to win if they're going to win this series. So map 1, very important. In the middle of this, raid checkmate. That is just Røkkr bread and butter right there. We're gonna have to see what adjustments that Dallas Empire have made. They have played raid control. They did it at stage 5, at Major 5. They lost that. That's where Priestahh popped off. And then checkmate hardpoint's an interesting one, because on the year, Minnesota 8-8, but throughout stage 5, they are 5-2. Checkmate was one of the maps that led them to winning that Major 5, but we know Dallas have loved it all year long.
Well, here we go. It is time to get rocking. Empire Røkkr to kick off playoffs here for the Call of Duty League 2021. It's amazing to have everybody back. I know it has been a trying couple of years as everyone battled through everything going on around the globe, but to have everybody back, let's have some fun. As Empire and Røkkr look to get dialed in, and Empire maybe got to battle the crowd a little bit here. I mean, it sounded like, yeah, fan favorites Røkkr, like we kind of heard at the last major. People getting behind him.
Yeah, I think Crimsix used to that, right? Like,
yeah,
he knows,
maybe.
You know, he's picked his battles, and it's a big battle, but he's going to take it on, right? Like, that guy, he's the GOAT for a reason. So he knows what he has to do. He thrives off of that energy. He wants to prove people wrong. And there you see it on the year. A very strong map for Dallas Empire at 10-6 on the other side. Røkkr, they did not play it at all throughout stage 5. 2-7 on the year. But you have to know that, right? Teams are going to be just targeting your vetoes. You have to practice maps where you were weak. We'll see if Røkkr are ready for that right here.
Well, here we go. Playoff starts now. Empire Røkkr into the map 1. As we'll kick things off from the Empire POV and see if they get rolling. And well, it's a stick from a teammate to kick it off, and not exactly the start maybe you'd like.
Yeah, not the start you like, but if you're Røkkr, it's the start that you love. Vivid able to find one. And well, this first hard point, you can earn a lot of time. You can see Priestahh just watching that flank. Well, Vivid's starting to work up towards top SCs, but on the hill, it's going to be attached. The mantle, he's going to get taken down. That's Shotzzy trying to make the play. Priestahh trying to find him. Where did he go? And there's the help of Vivid. So Vivid and Shotzzy trying to flip the spawns, but Røkkr still with hill control.
Standy still trying to win one-on-ones, but you can see the race there. Number 7 on the minimap. It's attached, trying to get deep to that right side of the map behind enemy lines. We focus on MajorManiak's one-on-one. He stops shooting, and well, Vivid makes him pay, but attach is still set up deep, and he's poised for some one-on-ones. He's got a bit of help there in the form of Priestahh as we keep eyes on mid-map for now, but the big battle's going on at the next hard point. But look at the amount of time you got if you're Røkkr just on this first point.
Yeah, 40 seconds, you have spawns, you have a lot of control. Shotzzy trying to make a play. wait for his teammates throughout the middle of the map. His teammates able to find kills. That's iLLeY and Vivid. Now they go 4 versus 2. Crim able to find one more. Now it's just all down to MajorManiak. The same position that Shotzzy was in, and that's what they wanted to do. That whole play that Shotzzy and Vivid were making was for this P2. There's the time they get themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, I guess now you're feeling good. If you're Røkkr, at least you got that 40 seconds to start things off. But you talked about Empire's success here throughout the course of the year. What do you think has made them such a strong hardpoint team on Moscow?
Well, it's their ability to break usually around P2 and P3. It just feels like when they have to make a play, it's iLLeY, it's Shotzzy. They are doing that. But speaking of a break, MajorManiak, you're able to find that, and they're going to flip the time. So you're going to take that 27 seconds, and now you're going to have to respond here. Is Shotzzy, he's at 5-0, 5 in a row, trying to find some streaks, somehow still alive.
And we'll see if that changes the game plan at all, maybe on his positioning. You saw he got a crit to battle with as well, but can he get those streaks as the push now mounts up for Røkkr? First one-on-one, Attach able to take that, look for the opening for his team to fly forward. The safe spawn does come in deep for Empire. Priestahh, well, he has come sprinting on in. That'll be number 6 for Shotzzy. That's a little bit too easy, but still some work to do to get these streaks. Can he find another one? Nice reposition. Tough gunfight, just back it up for now.
Yeah, and I mean, while this is happening, right, the time has been pretty scrappy, but you're right back onto it if you're Empire. Now here comes the 4-man push. And this is what Røkkr was talking about, Standy was talking about, was this teamwork, and this is where that teamwork is going to show. At breaks like this, Shotzzy, he's gonna hear this, there is the slide out. You don't get the kill. If you're a Shotzzy, there's a one-on-one in the back. I think iLLeY just trying to buy time, but he's gotta win that gunfight. So all the gunfights go the way of Empire, they're gonna take that, but Shotzzy still looking for number 7.
Yeah, everybody's just around him.
It's like, I need one more, I need one more.
Like, guys, leave me one. Let me put a bullet in here to try and get the kill. But so close. As the lead now to Empire, up 10, will focus towards the street hard point. As Shotzzy now the chance to do it, and there it is. Artillery earned as he works towards the missile. But it's been kind of all Empire since that opening hard point. He got those 40 seconds. It's going to be all the streaks available now for Shotzzy. We'll see when those come into play. But Røkkr looking to bounce back, trying to find some success off the opening of the game.
Yeah, might come in right away. I mean, we'll see when Shotzzy wants to call it. This is typically one of the hills that you try to do it on. I mean, P1, yeah, you can go through the ceiling. P2, it's a little bit more difficult. But because they have those close bank spawns, he's not going to go for it. They're going to use their weapons, and, well, they're able to find majority of the kills. Shotzzy, he's ready for that pinch, and, well, Attach is going to get taken down, but over to Priestahh, who's able to find 3 in a row. This guy destroyed Empire the last time that they played, but a quick trade as Shotzzy is 11-1 in the start of this map.
Yeah, this has been one hell of a start for Dallas Empire, looking to defend the throne. iLLeY with the streaks, or sorry, Shotzzy with the streaks. iLLeY trying to hold the street as they look to make this run. I want to hear the comms from the squad as they look to lock this down. Let's go to a listen-in with Dallas Empire.
In the window. Okay. I'm watching. Yep.
I'm still playing the fuck out of shit. Yo, one's on globe.
I hear you, one's on hill.
I can't see him.
Let's get to that. Mike on hill, weak. Let's get hill, weak.
Seany, one side.
I see that. Yo, HyDra help. On time, hurt. Yeah, I'm named big door. On time and globe. I know big door.
Missile flat.
There's no right corner, back up.
Right corner.
I'm here with him.
We're on right side glass. Yo,
All right, we got some audio to work on the main stage. Just make sure it's a little bit more clear for you for the listen-ins. I'm going to blame Crim. That's probably something to do with him. It's his fault, Joe.
Well, it's because he's like a robot, right? The
yes,
frequencies,
the feedback,
frequencies, yeah. It's one of his new chip technology or whatever, yeah, whatever you want to call it. But Empire in control, up 20 points. But, you know, they still have those streaks as Minnesota Røkkr trying to get this time, trying to tie this game up. Again, you look at the mini-map right now, number 6, that's MajorManiak. He's going to back on up. He's playing safety for the spawns for the second hill. Is Attach just trying to stay alive, trying to stay down. Priestahh now from the platform. He's going to take down and look at the spawns, right? Attach is out. We'll see where Priestahh pops. He's trying to hold, still trying to hold. He does have a safe spawn, so an okay position. But again, this is where Empire thrives, breaking this hill.
And it looks like they've got a good shot to do it again, to get set up and rack up this time. You've got everybody here, really. 4 players up from either team looking to do battle. Who gets the opening kills? It'll be Standy, the Phenom rookie that finds the opener. Now, can they chain that behind it? Crim is weak. He gets dropped. Standy now with 2. MajorManiak with the 3rd. And Attach will find the 4th. The clearance there for Røkkr. It's a pretty close spawn in for Empire, but you have a chance to rally some time. But that clear came in with like 30 seconds left. Like, it took some time to get comfortable here. If you're Røkkr, you're not going to find a ton of time.
And you can see Empire still putting pressure on this. You're going to have another one-on-one. Crim's going to go for it. The safe spawns are still there. There's the rest of the time. On rotation, going to be Vivid and iLLeY. And the reason why that was big, not on only just due to the score, but it's also due to the streaks, right? You still have have the streaks to use if you're Shotzzy. If they have P2, they probably use the streaks to break P3.
Yeah.
The game is blown wide open. Instead, it's a 4-point game. If Røkkr can maybe get an early break here, force one out, then they're in a position over towards P4, but still a lot of work to do. Can they get a break here? Last time through was not able to happen, and while Crim and iLLeY gonna open up this first push with 3 kills.
And this is where, I mean, if Crim and iLLeY can get comfortable, just how much they can lock it down. A dynamic duo at AR looking to do it again, but it's 3 in a row now for Standy. As the collapse starts to come in, Røkkr look for the opening to break through. Couldn't do it last time. Can they do it this time? If you're Standy, you need one more bullet, and then you get punished. It has been all Empire on third. They are locking it down again, and basically flawless there, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, flawless, right? I mean, that's really it. Every single push that they had, just Røkkr not able to find those kills. Standy sitting at 15 and 15. Everyone else, you know, you're right around that even mark. It's been a pretty close game. The only standout is it's really Shotzzy, who just continues to have a great one on another spree. He's at 19 and 6 on this map, looking for number 20. Just gonna back on up, play his life, and that's just what makes him so special. He is so disciplined. He knows when it's time to go, when it's time to play his life on the rotation, just staying alive.
Yeah, what a way to kick off playoffs. If you're Shotzzy, 19 and 6, just dominating on every end of this hard point. And yeah, the fact that you can keep the streaks in the back pocket this long is unbelievable. He's confident with the pistol, now 5 in a row there to go.
Rack him.
Yeah, just pick up some more. But there's gonna be the double chow in from mid-map. They're finally able to take out Shotzzy, but is the damage done as the lead continues to build, now up to 70 points? And for Empire, this has been a good map for you all year long. I guess for Røkkr, at least, if you drop this, you have proved that you can come back from anything, so maybe not too much concern there.
Well, and don't forget, the last time these two teams played, it was a Garrison Hardpoint map 1. Dallas won it, and then the next 3 went to Røkkr, right? Sort of that Toronto Ultra fashion, the way they like the 3-1 teams. It could be that similar opportunity for Minnesota Røkkr.
Well, now Vivid adding some streaks onto this, and he's now on 7 in a row. What a valuable asset and pickup this guy has been to the squad. They may have started slow, but he has been sensational for the team as they now eclipse the 200-point mark. Røkkr just looking for some life, but Empire not letting them breathe, just looking to close it out here. We're now 4 streaks to work with as the battle for mid-map continues. I'll tell you what, if this ends up going to a 3rd to close it out, we know who's been dominant there.
Well, and this has really been it. When these opportunities have arise for Minnesota Røkkr, where they have a chance to break, they just haven't been able to do so. Finally, they take down Vivid. They're on the middle of this P1, but you see the way that iLLeY's playing very safe. You have Shotzzy. He's also just waiting for his teammates, and then here come the spawners in Vivid and Crim, able to clean things on up, and that 20 seconds is going to be big as Shotzzy just not slowing down.
No. Whether it's the movement, the gunny, the guy's got it all. The high IQ plays there as well. 30 away from closing this out. As he looks to lock down street, it'll be Vivid calling in one of the streaks. First will not hit. Second will not connect, but maybe some call-outs in and a little gift from the gods as he comes out of the streak, able to find the shots into the back of Attach, and into the hard point they go. Looking to close it out here, and it has been dominant from what, like the midway point or from 3rd hard point, wherever you want to look at it. Like, it has been all Empire.
Yeah, it's really that second rotation, 3rd hard point. From that point on, Minnesota Røkkr not able to find a lot of points. The missiles are coming in. Everybody's blown up on the Minnesota side. Dallas Empire win map number 1.
For the most part, I mean, yeah, they got it done where we expected, whether it was the big breaks on 2nd or locking it down at 3rd. I know this is a team that at times has been guilty of, when they have that early setup, maybe over-challenging or taking a fight they shouldn't, but for whatever reason, they don't seem as guilty of that on Moscow. Like, they're able to play a little bit more structured when they need to.
Well, I think it's just the comfort of this map, honestly.
Yeah.
I just think this is one of their go-tos. It really has been all year long, and you can see how comfortable they are. But yeah, it's a lot of like, it feels like you're not overstretching yourself, right? I think there's a lot of the times of just holding position, playing your life as we take a look at the stats, but it's all about Shotzzy. iLLeY with 4,500 damage as well, but those early streaks just lead to this.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need the streaks really at all. I mean, they came into play to close the game out when it was just about done regardless, but just an impressive effort. This Empire team looking to make a run to defend the throne. Røkkr now looking to bounce back. We know they're capable of that, but map 1 of playoffs is done. Search and destroy around the corner. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Legendary. I'm legendary. Yeah, you know. let's go. Out of the dust, a legend is born. Born for the game, born for the throne. Up from the ground, and out of the gates. I am the storm, I am the thunder, I am the eye of the hurricane. Yeah, cause I'm the only one that's born for this shit. Cause I am mythic, I was made for this shit. They feeling the rumble when I make you quake. Out on the earth, up from the bottom, onto the top, making it shake, yeah. I'm taking the crown, that's why I came. Cause I came to reign, know the name.
We are back and ready to get rocking as the battle on the main stage continues. If you're just joining us, maybe missed the opening, tons of storylines going into this, but it is playoff time, all working towards the championship on Sunday. Fans are back in the house, players are locked and loaded. Now Røkkr in a position they've been in many times where they're maybe down a map. Can't be too concerned, but before we dive deeper into that, we're going to take a look at the major results throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, and I think if you just look at the left side, I think people forget how consistent this Dallas team really was throughout this year. I mean, they made it to 2 finals. They got in 3rd place. Major 3, that's when all the chaos was going on, right? They were just trying to figure out their roster. They bring on Vivid. But, I mean, they've just been top 4 throughout the year. And then Minnesota Røkkr, it was pretty rocky, pretty back and forth. They were middle of the pack team, and then boom, they popped off last major.
And yeah, it's 2 teams that have, you know, both kind of gone through some work. We talk about the roster and having to make changes. It didn't necessarily click right away. Well, I guess for Empire, you could say it did. I mean, they get to a final right away, but then the fact that middle of the year, like with Hookout, Fellow in, Vivid, and now you hear the rumors with Clay, like what was going on. It's just kind of insane now they've got to this point. But for the quick scope, you see the big edge for Empire going to be the hard points. For Røkkr, it's like, it's weird because you look at the hard points, been so bad, but then you look at the last major, it's like they were lights out. Yeah, I mean, they were solid in hard point. I think it was like 9 and 7 throughout stage 5. It was better, definitely improved upon, but it's all about the search and destroy. Yes, their respawn got better, but 10 and 2 throughout the last stage. 2 losses on Moscow. They need a bounce back here on raid search and destroy. And this is why, like, even before we got to this roster, there were several changes. Like, we thought this was a team, you know, back when, I know it's not maybe the same thing now, but back when FaZe was the #1 team by a mile, there was no argument there. We thought the reason Røkkr would have a shot is because they looked to be the 2nd best search and destroy team. They had a wide map pool. We thought that's where they could challenge people. And now it seems they have finally got there. Their search has been very, very strong on anything not Moscow, like you said, but this is where they need to come in and win. If you heard Standy, he wanted to get a win in the respawns and the hard points. That's where he wanted to go, but he's like, the search has been our bread and butter. That's where we've been solid. We need to come in and handle that. And what do you think has made them such a good search team? Well, I think a big thing was figuring out Attach's role, because I think if you look at stage 4, it was something atrocious, like a 0.5 throughout the stage. And we were all looking at each other like, what is going on here? True. Then you look at stage 5, and specifically Major 5, it was like a 1.2 plus. Like, he really stepped it up. Him and Standy really popped off in that mode. MajorManiak is obviously a big part of that, bringing him back into the roster with all of his experience in search and destroy. But for me, it's Attach. Just getting him to his comfort positions was the key for Minnesota Røkkr. All right, guys, we're going to head to a quick break. Working on a minor audio issue, I believe, for one of the players. As soon as we're ready to go, we're going to get into the map, too. But thank you for your patience. We continue all the playoffs. It's going to be a beautiful and glorious weekend. We'll be right back.
That grand finals was unforgettable, man. I mean, this was a 5-map comeback. This is one of the greatest comebacks we'll ever see, ever. Nothing compared to Full Sail. You can't compare like FaZe versus OpTic, you know, the comebacks there. Like, this is truly one of the most amazing moments in COD history, bar none. We may never see anything this great ever again. We might have peaked.
It is something that, by the way, solidifies its as the most clutch Call of Duty player in history. I mean, he's got the 1v3s running through artilleries. He's got the 0-3 comebacks from years ago. Everyone knows in the 1v1s that he is the reaper in those situations. But now he's got that 0-4 comeback just to make sure there is no argument. Most clutch player we have in COD.
All right, I need to end something right now. I heard Golden Boy on stage say arguably the greatest comeback, or Miles say one of the greatest comeback. That is the greatest comeback. There is no, that is it. Done.
Yeah.
It was
a best of 9.
Done.
Yeah, it's 5
I'm sitting here and arguably or maybe, no, like that is the greatest comeback ever. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen again someday. I don't. I'll probably be dead. I'm getting up there in age.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a fun time though. that final though, like we were through the first couple maps, I know you and I were like pissed. I'm like, this is, oh my God, they're getting smoked. Like, Ultra's gonna win this in 60 minutes. Like,
somebody do something.
Yeah.
Like, wake up.
No, it's like somebody hit a button and suddenly Røkkr came alive. It was truly incredible, but we're just waiting to get into the search and destroy. I believe whatever audio issue they were working on has been resolved. We're gonna take a look at some of the S&D KDs over this season. When you talk about top S&D KDs, and Standy, I mean, Insight's right there with him when you talk about rookies coming in, but they have been special and had an impact that is rarely seen outside of like Simp.
Yeah, I think if you look at 2 and 3 and Standy and aBeZy, they have the most first bloods on their team as well, right? That's sort of the key. It's a little bit different for Insight. You know, Scump at times is even a little bit of a slower guy in the clutch scenario, and then Octane. Like, those guys are finding picks. Standy and aBeZy are like, all right, follow me up, I'm sliding in. Like, in their 2 and 3, that is just unbelievable impact. That's what you hope for. Why we gas up aBeZy so much, because it's not easy to do. And then Standy right behind him.
I remember, I can't think I was talking to Accuracy or who I was going back and forth with. No, maybe it was Slasher when we did our Dinner for Champs thing. But talking about some of the best players, I said like Simp's like probably the best person I've ever watched, best player. And he's like, I think what aBeZy does is more impressive. Just because you know where he's going to go, you know the gunfight he's going to take, and how consistently he wins it is just absurd. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's insane, but like Standy has come in and had an impact like that as a rookie, and you know people worried about what he'd be like on the main stage, especially when you're going against the reigning champs and people like Crimsix. But I mean, he showed at Major 5. He does not care. I had someone actually tweeted me a couple weeks ago that if they had the same internet connection Standy did, they'd be in the league because pros have such an advantage with that.
Oh yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. I was like, what, man?
Yeah, it's just like where he lives in the middle of nowhere. That's really the big difference.
Yeah, the big edge. Can't do it on land. Well, he comes in and does it for sure. But you see all 8 players looking to get locked and loaded for the map 2 search and destroy. As Røkkr try to bring it back, Empire try to keep it rolling. What a map 1 it was from Shotzzy, and well, Vivid really came alive late.
Yeah, he did. And now we're going to search and destroy raid though. This is, again, for Minnesota Røkkr, the middle of this series looked great for them. Looking at raid search and destroy, they were 3-0 throughout stage 5. Again, their only search losses came on Moscow. That is map 5 if we go the distance. Then control raid, when they matched up at Major 5, that is where Minnesota Røkkr were able to take the edge in the series. So Dallas Empire, no. But again, we talk about their preparation. Them really focusing on, in the bracket, certain matchups. This is where we saw Empire win a world championship last year.
It's just, it's wild that this is like the first game. Like these two teams, considering recent results, like this is our round 1. It's playoff time, baby. To the search we go. As the crowd starts to get behind Røkkr, can they get a nice opening round on offense? Let's see how they look to strike. It is aggressive up mid-map for Empire. Is both able to get out in the courtyard. I thought maybe one going to get caught. I think it was Priestahh and attached putting in shots. But Vivid, he's going to send it. He's going to find the first blood, and what a valuable pickup he has been for this team.
Yeah, I mean, basically you have Crim just playing inside a money window, and then Vivid wins the next gunfight, finds the first 2 openers, but they were taking mid-map control. They were taking Art away from Minnesota Røkkr, trying to take them towards that low B site. But that's exactly what happened, and now it is all down to MajorManiak in a 1 versus 4 as Vivid finds those first 2 kills. MajorManiak in a tough spot. It is a flawless round number 1 for Empire.
And I mean, you saw it from the get-go as they flew out mid-map. You know they were going to bring it. I was just surprised everyone got through on the cross and nobody got dropped. And then Vivid, he starts it, he keeps it rolling, picking them apart early. His start, I mean, he was one of the lowest KDs in the league for the first, what, 2-3 weeks on this team? But you said it kind of with a bunch of players, like Attach has found his groove, or Insight found his groove, or Bance to the team. Like, so many people, like, just need to kind of find out where they slotted within that squad, and once they got comfortable, the difference is insane.
Yeah, I mean, really throughout the year, it's about putting yourself in the best position for this event, right? And that's really what Empire are trying to do. But again, up 1-0 in this map, 1-0 in the series. Is Crim just playing on an island, the rest of the players just holding down Art control. Pretty similar offenses for both teams, very slow, just trying to see what the defenses are up to.
I think map 1 was maybe kind of what you expected, but an Empire win here, this kind of flips the series on its head for you big time, right?
100%, because that guarantees a map 5, and that is where things get interesting for Minnesota Røkkr.
Well, the Major, he is trying to lock it down, but there are nades, stuns, the work's coming in. He's got Priestahh here to help him, but iLLeY, Shotzzy, trying to work up this ringside. We might get a one-on-one mid-map, but Standy goes huge. He's able to take a fight from, I believe, Tiki to like bottom apartment. With a sub. Yeah.
Sub.
Pretty unbelievable, but Shotzzy still here with the finesse game, the movement, up over the top, the snap back. Takes 1 before the trade is in. Down to a 2 versus 2 we go with 25 seconds on the clock. And Shotzzy just can't quite get out. Attach has to meet his maker. Do we get to the 1v1? You've only got 42 HP, and Vivid is just going to send it. Takes the 1. The trade doesn't happen quite yet, but it's Standy with the first blood in the wrap back that's able to take the 1-on-1, win the round, and tie us up at 1 apiece.
Well, I mean, Shotzzy does a great job just staying alive, making this into a 3v3, but then attaching MajorManiak, just surviving this for as long as possible so that Standy could rotate. But what's it really come down to? Crim is out of this fight. Standy is able to win that 1-on-1. Tiki side, as you said, with the sub. And a lot of the times, 2 players, Crim and MajorManiak, especially on offense, watch how they play apartment side because they're trying to find a timing to hit the mid stairs, maybe take you over courtyard. That's what MajorManiak loves to do. But, well, if I know that, then their opponents definitely know that. And it looks like this is going to be an all-out A hit for Minnesota.
Yeah, I only saw it on the minimap, but it looked like a Tiki to, like, bottom apartment and just smoked him. Like, yeah, with a sub, I guess. But that's the type of stuff Standy does. Another first blood, though. The way of Røkkr is Attach. Gets it rolling with the Simtex, but is aggressive mid-map again from Empire. This time Shotzzy and iLLeY trying to look for the openings as they work the flank. It's an instant plant down. I know that usually makes you very happy.
No, it does. I mean, that just means quick and reactive, but off of that, the nade hits, and I think iLLeY able to get some shots in. So you're into a 3-on-3, and you can tell just by the position of ring, they know exactly where all 3 of these players are. This is a laundry setup, and here we go. iLLeY gonna be the first man in. Crim's gonna find 1. Nice shots by Major, but he is weak. Attaching MajorManiak, trying to show their teamwork, but Shotzzy is here. Shotzzy so good, able to clutch the 1v2.
Unbelievable. The 3-on-4 retake is done as Shotzzy makes the play. A bit of finesse and the gunny to close it out. But yeah, I mean, you turn into a 3v3 right as the bomb gets planted.
That's really it, because what that player would have done backing up into ring is he's buying time. So MajorManiak can fight from laundry window with that player inside a ring, but that doesn't happen. That allows iLLeY and Shotzzy to get aggressive. They trap them in. Crim finds a pick. Nice teamwork from Empire, but that iLLeY pick, very similar to the round before from Standy, just gives them the edge.
Well, I thought it was going to be over real quick because I thought MajorManiak was going to lose his gunfight. And I was like, oh, this is done. I mean, that's 3 straight kills. They're in trouble. He came out of it, made it a bit more interesting, but well, Shotzzy started map 119-6. I'm not shocked to see him do it well here as well. But he'll have bomb in hand as they look to take a 3-1 advantage to get back to the offensive side of things. Once again, you're going to have Crim playing towards Tiki's side, but Standy, a little bit different side from him this time. He's pushed out towards ring, and he is going to drop, so much different than the last offensive round for Empire.
Yeah, but a very quick response middle of the map. Vivid just trying to find an opening, but he's going to lose that one-on-one to Priestahh, who is ready for him. Now Priestahh going to try and find this information that this is going to be a B hit. and he doesn't have it right now. Now he's gonna peek it, and well, Shotzzy, it's just disgusting. Just isn't missing. Ready for the gunfight, gives them the man advantage.
Yeah, Priestah's head is somewhere, not here. Gone, obliterated. Now what can they do with the 3 versus 2? The Tasha's got set up deep. You got one peeking through water steps, and Shotzzy wants to take the fight, but as he drops, the trade is in now. Down to the man with the ice, maybe the most clutch player in Call of Duty history. He's got good timing. It is a Tash.
Oh, it's bad timing, I lied.
It looks so good for a moment. But he lives for these moments. Gonna Tash. Go big in the 1 versus 2. As they are just toying with him.
Well, it's the 2 players that don't mind fighting this, right? It's Crim and iLLeY who are like, are gung-ho. Like, let's take fights. Like, you want to fight? Let's do it. It is these 2 players, iLLeY trying to reposition. But him and Crim just staying alive, playing off each other, and there we go. They take that man advantage. They rotated. They knew that someone was in the middle of the map. Crim very quick on that trade. Shotzzy gets taken down.
Yeah, they do a good job just not really giving him a shot. I mean, I guess he could have hit ludicrous headshots and picked one to make it a 1v1, but for the most part, they play it tight. They don't allow it to happen. Don't give Attach a chance to do something we've seen him do many times. Now 3-1 edge, closer and closer to going up 2-0 in this best of 5. Røkkr needs some life.
And I mean, what offensively for Empire, just very slow working off of picks. That's what they've been doing. And then Røkkr, they get first blooded again. Standy almost able to take him down with that trade, but you're gonna have the 4v3 advantage. Just not finding a lot of room to work with right now after Minnesota Røkkr.
Well, Major gonna get beamed. He's down to 6 HP, but just able to get out. Is Vivid huge for the team again to get the first blood. iLLeY gives them a bigger advantage, 4v2. Looking to close it out as iLLeY dances with death. He gets ripped down to 29, but able to back it up. The bomb surging on forward. Standy trying to catch maybe a fortunate timing. But they've all backed it up, grouped up, sent it back through kitchen and mid-courtyard.
Well, that's just a great call right from the start, right? It's been a lot, you know, A hits for Minnesota Røkkr. That's where they were going to hit the bomb down. This time you had 2 players ready for a water push on the Empire side. That gives them the number. So they're just playing this well. They're down to play the retake over for Zay. And well, MajorManiak left in a 1-on-3 as Empire just looked comfortable.
Yeah, like I just locked in, right? Even just fist bumps out, not too fired up, not too much passion. Just another day at the office. As Vivid continues to find the opening picks for the squad. And now, do you think this is just, you know, mostly Empire just kind of pick them apart, playing into their game plan, or do you
it feels that way. It feels that way, but even for Røkkr, you know, one thing that Standy really talked about in the interview with Jess was the teamwork. And right now, they just haven't been reactive as a squad. And well, right through the middle of the map, we're gonna go iLLeY. He's ready for it as he takes down Priestahh. Priestahh struggling right now at 1 and 6 in this search and destroy. But yeah, it's like the fight starts and they're just one by one. You're not seeing the teamwork that we saw at Major 5, and it is a 1v3 for Standy.
And it is done quickly. That round is a fast one. Just one more needed for Empire. And yeah, I mean, they talked a lot about the fact that the teamwork was finally clicking. But that's always the question when a team makes a run like that. Like, did it click for a weekend?
Right.
Or is it going to click for the long term? Are you seeing what maybe you wanted to see out of Empire when it comes to, I mean, the prep seems to be there, right?
Oh yeah, no, they seem to just be very comfortable. Everything that's happening, they're ready for it. Yeah, they're reading this map well, and well, iLLeY, he's on 5 in a row, Vivid on 3, Crim on 2. They're up 5-1.
Looking to get the 2-0 edge and guarantee that map 5, as you said, which has not been a good search for Røkkr. I don't know that we're going to even need to go to a map 5. It continues how it has. Another first blood at Shotzzy, once again with the headshots. Can Major and company bring it back? As they start to wrap out towards ring, the pinch is coming in from water steps. That's Crim that's starting to sneak his way forward. And Vivid just spotting for information.
Well, he's just hearing this, yeah. And then Crim from the middle of the map. Like, there's the teamwork. I mean, just that crossfire from those 2. They heard Standy mantle on up, and now he's just, again, in a clutch scenario, trying to find something. But first blood-wise, it's been all Dallas Empire. And, well, the series all Dallas Empire.
Unbelievable. Empire, they cruise through the Game 2 search and destroy. They take it 6-1. Joe, seemingly with ease. It is just dominant from the get-go. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff there from Empire. We'll break it down on the other side of this break, but so far it has not looked good for Røkkr. That teamwork that helped them make the run, we find it in the map 3.
The Call of Duty League is presented by Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Championship weekend viewership rewards hit different. Saturday, we'll be dropping the all-new 2021 Championship Pack to random viewers. Then on Sunday, earn the exclusive Champs XM4 blueprint when you watch Championship Sunday. Not to mention all the new calling cards, emblems, stickers, and XP tokens all weekend long. So, yeah, it's been something we've been wanting more and more of in Call of Duty Esports for quite some time, but the viewership rewards starting to ramp up. The fans starting to get hyped up, and I feel like I'm at I guess the final of Major 5. Like, I'm sitting here like, all right, Røkkr getting rolled. I really thought we were going to have a good series. I really thought this was going to be back and forth, and I'm not getting it. But at that midway point, that is when Røkkr started to come alive, Joe. We're going to see it again.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where if you're Dallas Empire right now, like, this is what I was talking about in the keys of victory. Get it done with, right? Don't give them that breath of life because they have the confidence in each other. The conversation right now on the stage for Minnesota Røkkr is we've been here before. We've done this. We're never out of it. Let's play our game. Our comms may be a little bit off. Let's get fired up and get right back into it.
Yeah, it's just like, again, it's got to be one of those things. Like, as long as you have that group of gentlemen next to you, it does not matter the whole. You feel like you can bring it back. But what we're going to look at right now is like that final we're talking about, that crazy comeback, and what they look like statistically 1 through 4, and what they look like in 5 through 9 within 1-5 maps. I mean, it's truly remarkable the turnaround. You need that same energy, that same vibe now.
Well, look at the bottom one. I mean, look at Standy, 0.69 to 1.5.
That's actually insane.
That jump is unbelievable. Priestahh right there as well. But what was that map 5? It was the Miami Search and Destroy. And I just remember the multi-kills that Standy was earning, right? Inside a lobby, it was just like, he was finding those 2 pieces. And it was like, all right, they are coming alive. And it just kept happening and kept happening as well. Yeah, again, you know, it's going to start with this raid control. And it's a map that they were able to beat Empire in just last major. Just now they got to get things rolling.
Yeah, I think from like a vocal leadership standpoint, you heard a lot of what Attach was doing. You need him from a vocal standpoint, from a stat standpoint. From an in-game standpoint, playmaker standpoint, like, it needs to be Standy. He's got to
Standy and Priestahh for me. I mean, Priestahh just struggled right there. I think he was 1-6, 1-7. And in the respawns, he really turned things around for them. So especially in control, this is when you need a guy like Priestahh, an aggressive AR, Standy as well, to take that mid-map control away on raid.
I can't believe I can just hug you whenever I want.
Yeah, and we're back.
What's up, buddy? What's up? We're not even on camera. I'm still just hugging you.
Yeah, you miss me a lot.
I do. It's been almost 2 years of just not being able to be near each other has been very, very detrimental to my psyche. Okay, one more time.
Okay, one more. We'll do it again.
This is good. People are gonna think we're real weird, but we need this, guys. It's been a long time. I need hugs.
We are weird. That's why we're doing this. We're just a bunch of idiots, you know.
Yeah, that's true. What's up, baby? All right, but we are getting ready for the map 3 to now see if Røkkr can. I mean, not as improbable or as impossible as last time we saw, but if they can start to somehow look like they are dead and life just comes out of them. The Røkkr resurrection, maybe one more time. But we're going to look at the maps in mode, just remind you how this is going to play out and why Joe thought Empire going up 2-0 was such a big deal. Because that map 5, we've talked a lot about how good Røkkr are at search. Moscow search has not been the case.
Yeah, not the case. The good thing is if you look at 3 and 4, that is where they found a lot of momentum throughout Major 5. I mean, Checkmate, they've really turned things around. Their hardpoint is now one of the best. But even if it gets to a checkmate, Empire has played that a ton. One of probably the most played maps for them on that hardpoint. So it's not like they're out of it. It's just that is where Minnesota Røkkr saw a lot of recent success.
No, if I've learned anything about Empire on that map, it's going to be memorable. Whether it's them coming back from down 150 or someone coming back on them down 150, like we saw like that Ultra matchup. Like checkmate in Empire leads to fireworks more often than not, but we're not there yet. It's time for the map 3. Does Empire look to shut this down and move on? And if you're Røkkr, you don't want to, I mean, Joe, you've played a lot of big tournaments in your career. You don't want to, I mean, you have 2 matches today. You don't want to take a loss and then go into the second match. So you might be bopped out today.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, for these winners round 1 teams, right, you lose. The loser, what? The loser of this goes on to play LA Thieves later in our 3rd match.
I don't want to play that today after a loss.
Especially after, you know, a team who may be starting to get started. Then you have Florida for the, you know, OpTic NYSL loser. Just not easy matches. There's not a match that is easy at this tournament. But we're going to game 3, raid control, Røkkr on offense. We'll see if they get right back into this game.
They need the comms, they need the fans, they need something mystical above maybe to get them rolling, but it's Vivid once again that'll find the opener. It doesn't seem no matter what mode it is as he takes down 2 before he drops, but onto ringside control. That'll be attached, looking to get set up. And we'll just keep it on Standy throughout the course of this. He can be a playmaker, and him and Priestahh are doing that right now. Just making Courtyard their own, alleviating the pressure from one side of it is Standy picking them apart, attaches turn now. It reminds you a little bit of that 5th map. Like the kill feed just starts to feel a little bit more Røkkr. The crowd starts to get into a little bit more. That's a good opening.
Yeah, but then right after that, it's 2 kills for Empire. Now they can get into their B defense. You see number 3, Crim, he's into that apartment over towards bedroom. You have Shotzzy inside Art just kind of lurking. And on the backside, it's going to be iLLeY and Vivid just trying to deal with the players on the flank. And now this is where it gets tough, right? Because for Røkkr, they know it's going to be difficult to rotate out over towards bedroom. And while Vivid is hitting shots like that, as he's up to 4 and 2, it's really just him and iLLeY right now as Shotzzy and Crim trying to find kills on the board.
Well, how big of a point do you think it was for Empire and like the coaching staff? Like, if we are up 2-0, put this team away. Like, that had to have been a big discussion point, right?
I think it's a discussion for anyone playing Røkkr.
Yeah,
when given the opportunity to close out a game, do it. You have to do it.
What a bounce back it has been. You know, you have the life disadvantage. You give up A so quickly, but it has been all Empire since that point. And Vivid once again making plays 5 in a row, 7 and 2, looking to earn some streaks. Well, that could be helpful in this round, depending on how the next couple of pushes go for Røkkr. But it's been a good job, really, for Empire, just making sure they go 1 for 1. The trades have been there.
Oh, he got stuck. That's a huge kill. A huge kill. Well, Standy actually ends up taking him down, but that would have been number 7. Attached trying to stay alive. And well, a key for their defense has been the ability to stay alive and find kills on the flank from iLLeY and Vivid. For right now, you finally have some breathing room for Røkkr. They're starting to find some kills. They have MajorManiak trying to find something over towards Crim, but Crim gonna win that one-on-one. But these 2 players just need to stay alive, cause some chaos in the defensive spawn.
Well, it's really just gonna be Standy now, as he's lurking towards May. And look at Vivid, just pushed up the map, finding picks outside of garage, wrapping back. I thought to take out Standy, but a nice strafe is in. It'll take the movement advantage there with the SMG AR duel. The next person to push up, though, is iLLeY. He's all the way pushed up top apartment, wins his 1, able to get out of harm's way. Still a second player to deal with. Now time is dwindling. 15 seconds left to go. 3 life differential. They've got to get onto the point. They've got to do it quickly. This could be the opening. Attached. He's like 1 more bullet. There's the crossfire in. Røkkr now onto the point with under 10 to go. 11v11 in the lives department, but Empire have got to send it. They're soaring forward. The nades are into kitchen. Second bit of progress is now done.
Well, that one kill was huge. This is going to allow Vivid to work the flame, but he gets taken down. The trade's starting to come on through, but Shotzzy goes big once again. One player left. MajorManiak just trying to stay alive. The reinforcements inbound for Røkkr. They're winning gunfights. There is still time. 2 seconds left. They're going to clutch it on up. They win round 1. Røkkr resurrect again.
It's sometimes, maybe it's just one moment like that that gets it flowing for this Røkkr team. And I thought the retake was in for Empire. I thought they had it, but MajorManiak staying alive that entire time, then winning that gunfight. Like, if he gets traded out right away and the focus can go towards that front push, like more than likely they deal with it. But he's just there like bunny hopping towards the wall,
just
gets a kill.
Alive. Yeah, just buying time. And well, how many times have we seen raid control, right? Just one push is all it takes. They finally were able to find some room on the flank. That was Attach and Standy able to find some kills, and that just opened everything up. It was a great job early in the round by Vivid and iLLeY, but they broke down towards the back half.
Well, the opening pressure going to be coming towards Priestahh at Tiki, and it's Standy through water steps there with the help, but numbers are still here. They're going to have to track back to help him, or are they? This Big P, Priestahh looking to hold it down, but a nice little angle there from iLLeY onto the rock. Just take him out of the picture. And now this is where you kind of have to make a decision, well, offensively and defensively. Like, you've got one pushed up towards B. Do we try to take a crack at it?
Yeah, offensively, they're kind of everywhere right now, but Vivid was able to win the one-on-one towards A, and I think the goal is just to pause that clock and play some kills. And well, what? It was iLLeY on B. He's still there. He's still on that. He's going to take up progress, so that's a big win for the later round, but Priestahh starting to heat on up. He's on 3 in a row, up to 11-8, leading the way for Minnesota, but Vivid is still on A. 1 life advantage right now, and it looks like Minnesota, they're just going to try and work this flank right now, just not give them anything towards B.
And we'll see how important that one bit of progress ends up being. But everybody dropping, that's going to be 3 down. And now it gets into scary territory. I mean, if you're attached, at least you win that one-on-one towards Kitchen to make sure this is not going to be a clean transition, but that'll be the 8-point done. Now Røkkr trying to set up for this rotation out. The minute extension will bring you to about 2 minutes. We're even in the lives department, but you got to think if you get like that 3 or 4 down, the fact they have that one bit of progress just makes it that much more pressure on Røkkr. They have to fly back quickly, but Standy trying to alleviate the pressure by himself. That'll be 3 in a row, and kind of similar to what we saw on the other side. Like once the cap went in, they deal with it.
Well, now the middle of the map just opened on up. Crim, the last player alive, he was just waiting over towards pillars, and 2 players fly on throughout Kitchen, and that's going to be 2 kills for him. So a lot of map control just back the way of Dallas Empire. The nades are hitting. Viv is able to find one, and look at this. That means B is wide open. I think they have an idea. They're going to get right onto that point.
Oh, I thought Standy might have had a second, but a nice one-on-one win there for iLLeY. Now they get to the point. They're stopping the clock. MajorManiak trying to help on the retake as Attach will push through back court side, but as he drops, that's more that MajorManiak's gonna have to deal with, and he won't deal with much. He will get dropped. Second point of progress almost done. The pinch is in. It's Empire on
Standy.
the point.
Standy's gotta make the play.
And they close it out. Now will Standy go huge. Standy makes the play. One more there. The snap is on. Attaches through with the help. And for now, you survive to see a little bit more of this round.
Yeah, you can slow things down a little bit. Standy just working through the middle of the stairs, lines up 2 kills, gives them an opportunity to retake. But yeah, as you said, one more take, 1 minute remaining. iLLeY just trying to keep presence here. They do not want to lose bedroom control this late into the round. In the middle of the map could be Vivid and Crim, with Shotzzy working the flank, just trying to find a pick. And iLLeY, he's just going to go on the point. He's going to go on the point. Hello, he's going to find a kill. And there we go. iLLeY just finds an opening, a crack in the defense. And that might be the offensive round.
It might be done. I don't think anyone can get there in time. Nobody can scramble across. iLLeY just waltzes up, makes poolside his own. He's like, all right, boys. Yeah, I found a crack in the defense. You guys want me to put it? He just walked up, found the opener.
Yeah, they're busy making drinks in the bar, right? He's like, all right, well, nobody's here. I'm going to just get on this.
Does anybody want a mojito? No, that's iLLeY.
I'll take 2. Yeah, but yeah, iLLeY just able to find that opening, wins the one-on-one. Shotzzy was able to work the flank, and then the 4v2 with the numbers, all of the progress they made earlier in the round gives Empire the advantage.
And I think that's big because, you know, you felt the crowd start to come alive a little bit. You saw Røkkr really get into it after they clutched up in that first round. A nice answer there from Empire to get back into this one. Because, you know, you have that Standy play and they clutch up again in back-to-back rounds. You know, you can start to maybe feel the heat a little bit, but what a map Vivid is having. He's 15 and 13 as it stands. I cursed him there. He just gets smoked as he goes out for the cross, but it's Crim and iLLeY, the powerhouse ARs of this Empire team, that find the rest of the kills, and basically everybody on Røkkr now sent back to spawn to fight out again.
Yeah, just looking at our stats here, I mean, someone who's really slowed down has been Priestahh. What, I think he was like 11 and 7 at some point, now up to 12 and 15. So while Dallas Empire have them in the trap. So Minnesota Røkkr just gonna try and get out of this through driveway and art, but Vivid, he's ready for it, gonna find one. Now can he finesse and play his life? Not able to do so. A quick trade, but iLLeY watching over him.
Yeah, still, you're getting kills from those positions, though. You're gonna feel great about it. You're coming out of spawn, having to take gunfights instantly if you're a Røkkr. Maybe attach a MajorManiak, give him a little bit of breathing room, but you can see Shotzzy still pushed up far on that apartment side, but finally out to the point and starting to make some progress. Will be Røkkr, but you're already in a 5-life hole.
Yeah, we know Dallas, they will take this fight. You can see they have 3 players here. They are not afraid to take gunfights. Guys like iLLeY and Crim will do it all day. Vivid, he's going to be the aggressor. The nades are hitting. iLLeY's able to find 2, and that means it's go time. You have Shotzzy working the top side of the map, making sure he can find some kills off a spawn. But Attach, able to stay alive. That should be a done. It will be. But we're back in that scenario. Can they be a little bit cleaner this time through?
Yeah, they made it happen somehow last time. But I think Priestahh, right as they were going for the gap, he was able to take one out towards mid-map before he dropped. And I thought just making this mission across the map a little bit easier, but to Shotzzy we go, because he's been lurking this side throughout. He was on 5 in a row and will get caught. It's Standy, it's able to work the pinch. Now what can they build upon that? Is everyone from Empire surging it out mid-map? Standy, trophy out of the way, iLLeY out of the way. The point is mine. That's gonna be 2 down now as they look to fly forward. Crim though, trying to go clutch.
Well, you have nobody
Crim
here.
gets a second one as well.
Yeah, nobody basketball side. It was just one player middle of the stairs, and it was Shotzzy on the flank. But Crim with those 2 kills, that's going to just give Empire all the control again. An 8th life advantage. He's up to 18 and 11. With that multi-kill, just gives them all map control once again.
Yeah, no one backed up courtside. They've all just basically sent it out mid-map to
Mid-map,
Røkkr.
yeah, they just sent it.
For a second, you thought it might be a clean opening, but the clutch kills come through for Empire. The lives differential is getting bigger. It's now going to be up to 8 for Empire, 30 seconds to work with. And now you're getting into the territory. You're relying on maybe another miracle. But you don't offense, it can take one break. Can they find that one moment to get on? It's going to be so difficult, though, with the position. I mean, look, Shotzzy is in their garage. Like, Major's just spinning in circles trying to find his position. iLLeY is still set up top apartment. Like, they have them on lock currently. The one thing you have your Røkkr, you do have one person on the point to stop the clock, and of course it's Standy.
Well, they only have 3 lives left. That's really the big problem.
Yeah,
well,
it's a huge problem.
They're so separated. Is Shotzzy on another spree, really starting to get going in this round. Defensively, beautiful from Dallas Empire as well. They did not allow them to touch that point. Now 1 round away from 3-0ing our Stage 5 champions.
Yeah, it's like, kind of like we're talking about in the sense of the overall series, like put them away, get it done in 3 if
This
you're
is
Empire.
it, yeah.
Like, yeah, same with like some of these rounds, just within the round. Like, don't give them that last second desperation. Like, keep them away from the point. Don't give them a shot at it. The map was all Empire towards the tail end of that. Like, that was beautiful.
Yeah, but it started with Crim, right? Because there was the chance when
With
there was
3 down, right?
3 dead opportunity for Røkkr, but they're not able to work that trade, and then him and Shotzzy just retake control of the map. They have the 8 life advantage, and that's the round. But Røkkr, they need a solid defense round here to send us to a round number 5.
Empire close it out, or to Røkkr, make the run. It's a skirmish and a bloodbath around the A point. Still 2 players holding from mid, really. iLLeY, I don't know how he gets a second there, but just ludicrous once again from iLLeY. 4 in a row for Shotzzy as well, as he had a terrific respawn to open up this best of 5. Looking to get another one going here. He's been close to streaks multiple times. Can he get him this time? But that is just a fast A-cap.
I feel like there's moments when we're on iLLeY's point of view that he just does things that are so fast. Like his reactions, the way he moves on the map and his centering just makes things look easy, as he's now on 4 in a row.
Oh, that's 4 down. That's 4 down.
That's one of those situations is Empire trying to put it away.
They can put it away here. Empire onto the point, 5 in a row. Make it 6 in a row. So that was actually, we hopped over to Crim. Both ARs, they looked at, they're both just beaming. It was 4 in a row for Crim. 6 down for iLLeY. Halfway to the final point. Can anybody get there? It's attached to the flank trying to get it done. He's able to at least get 2. Priestahh is there as well. And if you're a Røkkr, you took a glimpse at death. You might have survived to see another moment.
They don't care.
But now the missile is in, the streak's pouring in. Empire going for the jugular to close this one out, 2 down. The last 2 players by the point. Oh no. It's gonna be attached to MajorManiak, and they're doing enough. They get 3, they clear the point. As the artillery now gets called in as well. Empire going for everything, but somehow Røkkr just scraping their way through.
They're just trying to keep mid-map pressure. That's really it. Dallas just trying to hold on to this because it's all the trades, right? Yeah, it's a 7-life advantage, and that's why. 90 seconds left. They're trying to pause the clock, use the streaks, give them the advantage. Just 1 or 2 more pushes, and that's it. Shotzzy is trying to put this away with another streak. The artillery just trying to land vivid. iLLeY there on the point. It connects with 1, and there we go. Empire gonna close this series out with a 3-0 statement.
No Røkkr miracle this time around. Empire come in. They handle business, and what a start it is to their playoff run. For the most part, a comfortable 3-0. Like you win the hard point by 100. 6-1 search and destroy. Yes, 1 round gets a little bit scary there in the control, but that was dominant from Empire.
Well, and those rounds are going to happen, right? We've seen them happen all year. Sometimes for Empire, sometimes against Empire, but this is just a stage where those clutch plays are going to happen against you and for you, but you're going to have to bounce on back. But look at the damage from all 4 players of the Dallas Empire. Just everyone contributing. They played with so much pace, so much mid-map pressure. And well, the slaying, one-sided as it could be.
Yeah, and, I mean, I think you really see the AR dominance too, maybe a little bit in MajorManiak's stat. Like, he goes 16 and 30, he struggles, but dude, when we were hopping to Crim and iLLeY,
they're beaming.
Oh, absolutely beaming. And when they're on point like that, it is tough to deal with. And I don't know, that second round was huge for me from Empire because you started to see the light from Røkkr. And a clutch moment like that with a team like this can be so big, but you come back, you answer, you take the next round, you start to run away with it, and that is huge because you wanted to see if the preparation was there from Empire. If we'd see what we saw maybe at Champs last year. So far, yeah, incredible start.
Well, that's the thing. Right now they have a matchup which they're going to know. They have a ton of time today. They're probably going to get some more scrims in, but then it's hit the VOD and prepare for that match tomorrow.
100%. But what a start it was from Shotzzy, and overall an incredible series. What, 19 and 6 to kick it off in map 1. The MVP from last year was absolutely ludicrous, and we've got him on the main stage with Jess.
Thank you so much, Maven. That's right. We are here on the main stage for your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight with Shotzzy. So it felt like you were just playing. Yeah, that's right. Let's hear it for Shotzzy. Make some noise. So it felt like you guys were just playing faster than the Røkkr right off the rip. What was the game plan there?
The game plan was just, focus on ourselves. In practice, we've been just really focusing on our comms. And, we had really good comms that entire series. And, we just played really good.
So this is your second Champs. And at your first Champs, you walked away with the title and you were the MVP. How does your mentality change here in your second Champs?
I just look at it as like another tournament. I'm just looking at it as like another series, another scrim. And, yeah.
Well, you guys are the defending champs, but it feels like maybe not a lot of people are talking about you. Do you feel like you're being overlooked or underrated at all?
To be honest, I don't really look at social media, so I have no idea. But regardless, I appreciate all the fans that, tuned in, and yeah, we love you guys.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for that interview. This has been your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight with Shotzzy. Back on over to the casters.
Thank you. Maybe some booze to get us going when Empire first came out, but you hear the cheers there. I think Shotzzy has been a fan favorite just based on what he is able to do. And
gotta respect that man. Just what he does.
He's a little damn freak. He's a lot of fun to watch, and we had the interview with him. We're also going to check out the Scump play of the game, which is also going to be Shotzzy. It is the big 1v2 in the search to destroy. A huge moment for this Empire team as they're looking to put Røkkr away.
Yeah, just one of those rounds that kind of gets them going. Maybe that's what we were talking about of Røkkr just getting some momentum, but that's one of the only round wins that Røkkr get in, Shotzzy. He's able to put that clutch in, and they just walk away with that game.
Let's take a look at how this championship weekend is going to play out. Well, it can play out a lot of ways, but let's take a look at how the bracket looks. So Empire come in, they handle business, they set up for a date with Ultra. Those matchups have been god tier for the most part. Yeah, I'll cast every one of those for till the end of time, but Joe, I don't need predictions or anything, but just thoughts on how today might play out, buddy.
I just think, you know, you go to that losers round 1 for Røkkr. You got to go back and just try to get that momentum going on your side. A tough matchup versus LA Thieves later today.
Well, the first match is first match is done so far. Empire able to continue to defend the throne, but more work to do. The desk coming up next to break down that first match of playoffs. Do not go anywhere.
Let's go. Out of the dust, a legend is born. Born for the game, born for the throne. Up from the ground, and out of the gates.
Off the day. Oh boy, a quick 3-0 for the Dallas Empire already in the books as we are here on the desk. Myself, Lano, joined in part. We got Jeremy, Standy, and Stacy. We got Daveless on the corner. Guys, an interesting way to start off the day, an interesting way to start off champs, but we have to take a quick little gander at our bracket, in fact, to see exactly how everything is shaping up for the time. Again, we talked about how important this first match was, and now that is clearly indicated by the bracket that we have in front of us. Empire, off of the 3-0 win versus Røkkr, now have a date with Ultra that's going to be going down tomorrow. And later today, we got Minnesota to take on the Thieves. I gotta tell you guys, I mean, I don't know if we all expected a 3-0 off the start, Nameless. I know you had some high hopes for this Dallas Empire team. I knew you were heavily enforcing that hardpoint topic specifically, but walk me through it, my friend. What's your reaction? I mean, did we expect a specific 3-0 sweep?
I predicted 3-2 Empire, and I heard the crowd. Nobody was really making that much noise, but I knew these guys were going to come prepared, and they showed it right there, right? Like I was saying, Crim and iLLeY need to be the guys to go off. We got Shotzzy on that map number 1, everybody on game 2, and then in map number 3, where you needed your ARs on that raid, they were there, going on those streaks, picking up those kill streaks, dropping them down on the map at the end to put them out. It was a beautiful series across the board from the Dallas Empire.
Yeah, great series from the Dallas Empire. That was completely dominant from start to finish. I didn't expect them to handle them as easily as they did in the Search and Destroy, because Minnesota, that was their backbone game mode. And then as of recent, well, at least in this match here, they were just getting first blood a lot. Dallas Empire, once they popped that, they were just playing their numbers advantage, just being the pressures on the map, and Minnesota stood no chance, man. Great plays from Dallas all around.
I mean, it was an emphatic start. It wasn't as if, like, it was kind of this heat up moment. And I think it was Joe and Clint on the call. They were talking at this moment. It was like, hey, this first hard point, if they start off well, do not give Minnesota the chance to make a comeback. And that was clearly stated in that first hard point. I had the ability to talk with Chance just before coming into that series, and he was like, yeah, I've been able to watch a few players kind of scrimmage, get a little bit into it, and he was saying that Shotzzy was dominating, and that's exactly what we saw at that hardpoint, my man.
Yeah, no, we're gonna pull up this hardpoint clip here in a moment, but it was just perfect, exactly what they wanted to do. It goes over towards P3. You're gonna see them, they set up here initially, right? And they got all the kills in the middle of the map. And then as they're holding down this time, Minnesota's trying to get in the front. They're still getting these kills, holding the spawns, but you see number 1 and number 2 on your mini map. That's gonna be Vivid and Shotzzy. These guys, so aggressive, so so smart. They get control of gold. They kill Priestahh trying to go up through the center to try to flip those spawns, and they're just playing their lives perfectly at this point in time. Vivid right now, he's thinking way ahead of the game. He's watching the spawn cross coming in from mid-map checkers, and he's getting that information. And at the same time, they're still holding the previous time on Old Hill. So now while Dallas has dominated P3, they have now streamlined that into P4. They're rotating all the way around. They have the back spawns, and they pick up a big chunk of this time right here as well. And for me, that is what did the game in for them. They go up by about 80 points, and from then on out, they close the game out.
Yeah, it was just great work from Dallas, man, especially out of Shotzzy. Keep in mind that he was 8-0 all the way at P3 hardpoint. That means he's 2 hardpoints in, still hasn't died.
Yeah.
And that's insane, man. He was able to pick up those early streaks, so eventually, you know, make it a little bit easier for his team to win some rotations, not really focus on just getting there early. But then towards the very end of the game as well, Vivid was also able to pick up some streaks. So that SMG duo really took over early in this series, and eventually were able to close it out.
Yeah, and that's what people were questioning coming into this event. How's the SMG duo going to look? And just in general, how's this team going to perform in this LAN environment? We know this team is familiar with this, being the defending champions. You like their chances when it comes down to an environment like this, and they did not disappoint. And speaking of a game, a series that's not going to disappoint, it is our next match that's going to be up here on the main stage. It is OpTic Chicago taking on the New York Subliners. I think you guys are pretty excited about that. I think it's fair to say so. Absolutely, it's going to be a blast to see exactly how this game goes down. And we're going to play a little bit, by the way. Shout out to Lottie, she's great at this. Fill in the blank. Yeah, I'm already messing it up. See, Lottie, you should be here. No, fill in the blank. OpTic wins if what, Stud?
For me, they have to start off super quick into this series, man. Whenever we watch OpTic, especially at majors, they always tend to lose their very first game. The only time that didn't happen was at the very last major where they get the first seed and were able to get that bye. So if you're OpTic, you need to start off these gates early and come out with some early aggression.
Yeah, I mean, for OpTic, they've been looking great as of late, right? You look at the last major, Envoy and Scump both turning up, and for me, it's a search and destroy. When OpTic is going off in search and destroy, and it's the backbone of their game, they can afford to lose a hard point, right? And then when they somewhere put it all together and their respawn gets back to that tippy top where it was early in the season, that is when they dominate games. So early on in this one, when it comes to that game 2, if they're not making those mistakes that cost them those round 11s, that is when we'll see OpTic have a run in a tournament.
Now, I want to ask you guys, too, like more specifically on the player side of things, who do you think has to be the player to step up here specifically for OpTic? I mean, is there a certain player that we're looking at? I know that you talk about out of the gates, it's important. Namely, you talk about the search and destroy Stud for you. And in relation to that hard point, a player that needs to step it up for OpTic, and also say the same thing for New York as well.
It's got to be formal for me for the side of OpTic, man. Like, just the way he ended Major 5, I know he definitely wasn't happy with it. Like, versus Toronto, it wasn't even close, especially in the respawns. So I'm looking at that guy from the OpTic side to really step up. And for New York, we know who he got to go to. It's got to be Clayster, man. He's had some time off, but he's on his way back. Asim's going to have less pressure on him, so he's going to be able to perform. But I can't wait to watch Mr. Jimmy play again.
I like that.
Yeah, and, you know, looking at OpTic Chicago, it's got to be Envoy. You know, the guy, when he started to perform in Search and Destroy, that is when they found success. He's number 3 overall for First Bloods here in Stage 5. And going into this champs, he's got to bring that same thing and even elevate it another level. He's their shot caller. He's going out there getting those kills. He's making it easier for the squad. Then you look at New York, and for me, yes, Clay as well, but also Asim. This is a guy who now doesn't have as much pressure on him. He can go out and get those kills, play that aggressive role, and be another slayer for the squad to make it easier on the team.
I want to ask you guys, too, like, you know, in the element of bringing Clayster into the lineup, which is obviously going to be the storyline coming into this series, I know, like, what, too, like, whenever you do have a new roster, right, Clayster coming back, and I know we've obviously seen Clay throughout the season, but how does that change things up if you're OpTic, right? Because you're coming into this match. Granted, it's a new team. I know you can define it a few different ways, but nameless, how important do you think that is in regards to this match, in regards to NYSL in some ways having the element of surprise?
Yeah, you know, for OpTic Chicago, it's just going to be business as usual. They have to come in here and just fix the issues that they've had in the past. It's the final moments of these games. They're making the mistakes in hardpoint where they're not playing together and going around the back and getting those kills and converging to get control, right? So same thing in Search and Destroy when they make the mistakes in those round 11s. It's about fixing their mistakes and playing their game rather than falling into the trap of the surprise New York attack.
For me, I think OpTic they simply have to just start off this series early, and when they do that, it has to be the early pressure that they have to relieve from the players on NYSL because they're going to be fairly new. Clayster's coming back. They got like 2 weeks of practice. Not really a lot of time. They had a lot of success before, though, when he was still on the roster, but it's going to be all brand new. OpTic, they just, like Nameless said, need to come in there and handle business. This is what they need to do. Start off early into this series to continue on and make themselves cemented into this tournament.
All right, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's why you guys are sitting exactly right where you are. But folks, our next match is just a matter of moments away. It is the new look New York Subliners with Clayster now in the roster, joined alongside by their other side, the OpTic Chicago. Make sure to stay with us. That match is up right after this.
I'm legendary. You know. Let's go! Out of the dust, a legend is born. Born for the game, born for the throne. Up from the ground.
There is a status reserved for a select few throughout history. For those remembered for more than just a name, it's a title even kings die in vain for.
Out of the dust, a legend is born. Born for the game, born for the throne.
Time gives us all one simple choice. You can be forgotten or become immortal.
You think he's done now? You think he's gonna stop here? You think you can stop aBeZy? Oh my God!
To be remembered is not enough, because anything less than legendary is failure.
Accuracy, though, they line up! They line up for accuracy and he wins it! Are you kidding? Accuracy with the ice!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're almost ready to get this one underway, and it's going to be a real treat for us all. New York Subliners going up against OpTic, and again, the boys are getting ready to go. We've seen a few of them on stage already. This is them making their way into the venue, and we cannot wait to get this one started. My name is Miles Ross, and joining me is the one, the only Chance. My friend, how are you doing? Mate, we're back! I mean, it's different. Wow, finally did it! It took a long time, but we finally did it, mate.
Dude, and like, it's winners round one. We get Clayster going against OpTic on the main stage. We got HyDra that can pop off. It's like the best possible way that at least we could kick off our tournament. Obviously, the first match that we just had, oh my God, it went by so fast, but it's the biggest match we have, man. Clay versus OpTic, you do not need to say any more than that.
No, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, Clay left the team, now he's back in the team. What's that going to look like for everyone? We'll find out, though, shortly, and again, as the players are almost ready to get into this one, a wonderful, wonderful start to playoffs so far. We hope you're enjoying the show. Of course, everyone here in the venue, thanks, guys. It's good to see you. I think we got a couple of OpTic fans in the house. There's always a couple of OpTic fans. How are we doing, OpTic fans? Are we here? What about the New York fans? How many New York fans in the house? There's enough. There's enough. This is going to be a good game. But yeah, very excited to be back. Myself, Chance here. It's been a long time since we've done this. And again, a wonderful, wonderful matchup, mate. I mean, again, any sort of major stuff, high-level stuff before we get into that, because we still have the game field keys. This is merely a tease, friends.
I mean, you can start where you want. Honestly, the map I'm most interested in is going to be the control. And it's one of those things, like, I was able to, like, go back and watch them scrims, like, leading up to this. There's a lot of things that were interesting. Minnesota Røkkr, for example, wasn't looking super hot in the scrims. I think we got a taste of that a little bit earlier on. On the flip side, though, New York, you bring back Clay. It's never easy. Like, when you have to bring a new guy back on the roster, you get, like, a week or two of adjustment. They were looking fantastic. Some of their opening breaks on point. They were thrashing some of these teams. And now we get to see HyDra even more, especially the French phenom. Can't wait to see what the kid can do.
Well, we're going to get into our game fuel keys to victory now. We do have a tiny 10th issue on stage with Chance game fuel keys to victory. We're going to start this one off with the boys of OpTic Chicago. First, my friend, what have they got to do to bring home the bread today?
Formal needs to be on point. He is the factor. Study talked about it, and he was completely correct. When Formal's not even dominating necessarily, but just playing well, the kid can just put in some serious work. But when he loses, sometimes those losses are hard, right? That 8-25 for that final checkmate hard point we saw. So he needs to have that consistency, but more importantly for the team, all of their majors, they have been plagued with these close losses. You have your accuracy, his 1v3 in the game 5, round 11. The number of round 11s or like 10-point losses in hard points they have bad. It's been the thing. If they start winning these close fights, they could transform their game, and instead of being top 4, you unlock that final puzzle piece and, hey, maybe come away with a win.
Oh, we will see, though. Again, it's going to be in a very, very interesting turn. Heartbreak all year for OpTic fans. Too many round 11s, too many 1v3s, too many moments, we think. But an opportunity now to right those wrongs. On the other side of the board, though, the game fuel keys to victory now for the New York Subliners.
And everything is centered around Clayster. The guys that he is surrounded with, right? A couple of them, it's their second chance that they've ever had. Really the first one on land in an environment like this. He is the most veteran player that we could possibly have. He has been doing this for a decade, and he can just impart that wisdom upon his teammates. And again, if he's the guy that left the team and came back, he also needs a guy to make sure that he can manage and make sure everyone is locked in and ready to go. And if there's one player you want locked in, it's got to be HyDra. When he is beating OpTic, he is literally 1v4 world starring them, 28 kills per respawn. I don't know how bonkers that seems. Completely absurd. He can dominate the game, but when he is poor, the 0.85, you see the significant drop off that he has had when he is losing. So you got to make sure he's on point. If HyDra's ready to fry, oh my God, we have a series on our hands.
We may well have a series on our hands, friends. And what do you know? There may well be a global icon and national treasure waiting on the stage below us, getting ready to get these teams and players out. Golden Boy, take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's now time to start. Hey, all right. You guys are amazing, by the way. But it is now time to start your second match of the day. So let's go ahead and bring out your first team representing the Big Apple. It's the New York Subliners.
Mack with first blood. He just jumps on in. A flurry of kills through. Mack, though. Mack gets 3. What a second half of the hard point he had. And there's all 4. The 8 for Big Mack. Upward timing. He gets flushed out. But Asim and Mack, that crossfire so good. Asim, all 4, give it to him. Takes down the entire side of FaZe.
This is just an efficient work right now. Is HyDra, he has the entire team straight in front of him, gets a couple shots out. Look how much he just slows them down.
Can he get the defuse, player? He does. 23 seconds left on the clock. One more to deal with for Clay. This would be massive.
Welcome to the stage, the New York Subliners! Finishing 5th overall in CDL points this year with 340, NYSL is looking to make a statement here in Los Angeles. 24 match wins, 17 losses. This team is poised for victory as the boys get set up, ready to go, coached by the one and only, the legendary John Bobble Revan, and led by Clayster. we'll see what they'll be bringing to the table here today. How are we feeling about New York Subliners? And your starting lineup, you have Mack, HyDra, Asim, and the one and only Clayster joining the ranks today. But now it's time to meet their opponents. It's OpTic Chicago.
Almighty keeps it going in formal, looking fantastic. Envoy slaying his way through. Scump from up high, the king.
I'm out here doing what they thinking is irrational.
Really starting to run that score up.
I'm gonna make it bad, make it bad, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, OpTic gaming a back.
Chicago are a force to be reckoned with.
Representing the Windy City, it's OpTic Chicago! Fourth in overall CDL points at 360. This team has a 26-18 match record this season. OpTic finished every stage with top 4 team KD, second best overall KD as a team, and ranked second in every mode, only behind FaZe. And here is your starting lineup. You know them, you love them. You got Dashy, Envoy, Formal, and Captain Scump. And now it's time to start our second match of the day. LA, let me hear you. Are you ready? Let's send it over to your casters. You got Chance and Miles.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. I think we're all ready to go now, friends. It has to be said. This one's going to be good. Can't wait to get into this one, friends. This is going to be an absolute treat. We've seen the Game Fuel keys. We've seen what's going on here. Again, the fans are pumped. We're all ready to go. But, mate, any bad blood in this matchup? Chance, any sort of weird history? What have you got there in that magic book?
You got every kind of blood you want between these two. The amount of history that you have just between, like, Clay and Scump and Formal alone. Again, just 10 years of experience, the most veteran players that we have. You know, if there is any team that Clayster wants to be. First thing is, well, it's got to be OpTic. And, of course, on the flip side, these guys are just trying to make amends for the tumultuous year that they have had. Get that win to seal the deal. It could not end better for OpTic, but this is just the start of the journey.
Well, it's going to be an interesting start, a rocky start for both teams, I think, again, as we get into this matchup shortly. But for New York, man, I mean, it has been a rough year for them in between everything that's gone down. But we will see if they can right those wrongs here with a big turnaround at Champs. Maps and modes now on your screen. Checkmate to start us off, and Express Search and Destroy. Smack bang in the middle. We go back to Checkmate for Control. Apocalypse, so that will be an interesting one, and then Raid to finish it off.
And I think the simplest way to look at this is, at least for the side of OpTic, the deeper the series goes, the scarier and scarier that it gets, right? We are kicking off with a Checkmate hardpoint. They have been the best team in the game on this map, so if they get off to a hot start, they can set the tone. You got the music blaring, and of course, well, just to touch on the flip side of the maps and modes, you know New York Subliners, if they go down and out a little bit early on, they are ready for a war. They are ready to see that game 5. The deeper it goes, the happier they will be.
Oh my God. You all did a skirt, and I got a little goosebump. That is so funny. What a year it's been, friends. Here we go, though. Starting this one off, it's going to be a Checkmate hardpoint. Both teams, a moment of silence to compose and prepare themselves. The first match they've had here in playoffs, and Checkmate hardpoint will be that one. The Røkkrd's chance, certainly favoring the boys of OpTic.
I mean, there is no mistake about who picked this map, right? And it's an interesting thing as well, right? OpTic's so good at hardpoints. You have to choose which map you want to ban. Well, New York elect to take out the Moscow. So here we go to the plane. We get to figure out who the captain is, who the pilot that gets to drive the action. But again, OpTic, maybe not a map they necessarily need to win, but by God, you know that they want to get it. Giving any sort of momentum to this New York team could be dire, because you have to imagine, right? If you have a team that has like a little bit of issues going on, they have that just, you know, the hump in the road. Everything gets fixed once you're winning. But when things are losing, it makes it that much harder. If New York could come out and get a win on a map like this,
I mean, that just fixes everything right from the get-go.
It really does. A very quick restart, friends. Hey, there had to be something, and we're getting out of the way early on. But you know what the good news is? The game's now ready. That little bit of fill, this guy, what are you going to do? We're ready to get into this one, friends. We're going to do this all again. Now, checkmate hardpoint. You called it, brother. Who's going to be that driver of the plane as the map now loads up? But it should be an interesting one. A lot of fans, a lot of pundits saying, keep an eye out for OpTic in these opening matches. They start tournaments a little slow, then they have to find their way, you know, maybe through lower bracket. We'll see if they can get that one going early on. Again, for the New York Subliners, mate, what is it? Is Clay, is he going to be able to get the squad back and running on their feet quickly? And if they could do it against a team like OpTic, how far can they go?
And one of the biggest things about Clay as a teammate, right, he sees the game so incredibly well. When I was watching them scrim, he's getting on their case about like throwing stuns like 2 or 3 seconds too early. Like, you talk about a man that sees the fine details. Like, he said something like, I'd be just confused. Like, what are you talking about, man? But he is just ready to perfect the gameplay, get everybody ready to go in the plane battle we are going to have at the start. It's going to be a quick time for us to learn how ready Asim and HyDra are, because this entire year, Scump, he has run this airplane.
King, captain, whatever you want to call him. Oh, come on, boys! All right, something happened, but we'll get back to this in a moment. It's clearly been an issue of some sort. Who do we want to blame, friends? Whose fault is it? Is it Dashy?
I mean, Formal had the double team kill. Maybe he just needs to get the shot a little bit warmer, you know.
There's something going on here. He's got a little something. Referees will be on the stage in a moment to resolve this one quickly, but again, it's a spicy start. Don't look into that one. The Subliners, it's not a true win, but we are resolving this issue on stage as it happens. Again, one of the beauties of being here in person. There are professionals all around to try to fix these things. Mother, what do you think? Is this ice? Who's getting iced right now? I mean, aside from the fans and us, who's getting iced?
I think it's literally just us and the fans. I think all the players are just like feigning to get ready to go. Yeah, you got Paco just smiling a little bit. And just a player that, how can you not love HyDra, right? Just comical. I don't know if you've seen all the tweets coming out from the camp, but just to take another look at the maps and modes, we've talked about the checkmate quite a bit. Obviously, heavily favored in OpTic's favor. The Express, interesting. They have played it twice against each other with these roster, and they split the maps. So they have a little bit of experience. You can make those adjustments. And of course, when it comes to Search and Destroy and it comes to champs, we are expecting some creative things to be pulled out. The checkmate control, by the way, this is a map that I think right when the game kicked off, everybody went, well, this is impossible in offense. How are you going to do it? Well, New York, they were the first team to crack the code. They win 40% of their offensive rounds. They are the best in the game. Of course, on the flip side, well, for OpTic, ready to shut down on defense.
We're going to throw to a very quick commercial break, friends. When we return, we should have this issue resolved. Time to get OpTic going up against New York Subliners right after this.